But first, we begin on the campaign trail in another GOP debate last night, this one focusing on foreign policy. Well, not too much of a difference of opinion among the candidates last night, except when it came to one of the world's nuclear powers and whether that nation is actually America's friend or enemy. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron is live for us in Greenville, South Carolina. So, Carl, what was this disagreement about?
Well, it was about whether or not you can trust Pakistan or not, given its history and with its history of having done business with groups like the Taliban and the capture of bin Laden in Pakistan, not far from their military university and military headquarters. This was the 10th debate, and it was the first exclusively focused on foreign policy and international affairs. And it makes sense in South Carolina insofar as this state has the highest per capita population of active and military service families in the country. And on the subject of Pakistan, a real division emerged. Some of the candidates felt that Pakistan should be treated as an ally because of its nuclear weaponry. Others thought it should be treated as an adversary because of the way it's dealt with some of the U.S. enemies. Listen.
And Pakistan is clearly sending us messages, Mitt. It's clearly sending us messages that they don't deserve our foreign aid that we're getting because they're not being honest with us. American soldiers' lives are being put at jeopardy because of that country and the decisions that they're making. And it's time for us as a country to say no to foreign aid to countries that don't support the United States of America.
Pakistan must be a friend of the United States for the reason that Michelle outlined. Pakistan is a nuclear power. And there are people in that country that, if they gain control of that country, will create a situation equal to the situation that is now percolating in Iran. So we can't be indecisive about whether Pakistan is our friend.
Big differences between Rick Santorum and Rick Perry, and arguably it was the best performance for both of them in debates thus far. Perry had to overcome that gaffe last week when he forgot about the Energy Department being one of the departments he wants to cut in his own policy. And Rick Santorum has been complaining for months that he hasn't gotten appropriate time in debates. Last night he had an opportunity to flex his foreign policy muscles as a former U.S. Senator, and as you saw, very forceful. Heather?
Well, Carl, foreign policy is one of Michelle Bachmann's strong points, but her campaign isn't necessarily happy about how last night went, to say the least. How are they responding today?
Well, one of the reasons why foreign policy is a strong suit for Michelle Bachmann is because she's a member of the House Intelligence Committee, and she drew on that last night to answer a number of questions based not upon revealing any classified information, of course, but because of the information that she's gotten, in many cases behind closed doors. But they were upset about what happened last night. Yesterday afternoon, before the debate, the Bachmann campaign received an email from organizers of the debate that suggested that some of her questions might be limited because she's so low in the polls. They immediately contacted the debate organizers and got what they said was an assurance that she wouldn't be cheated out of time. But after the debate, both Bachmann and her campaign manager came into the spin room and complained loudly that they felt as though she'd been the victim of bias. CBS and National Journal, the hosts of this, say that's absolutely not true. Her lack of multiple questions was more a function of her low position in the polls. They argue that that is totally unfair, and it really is sort of a vicious cycle. Candidates that drop in the polls, Heather, don't get asked questions. When they don't get asked questions at debates, it's hard for them to get attention. These debates have very much supplanted the type of retail hand-to-hand politicking that South Carolina and Iowa and New Hampshire are famous for. Last night was the 10th debate. We got a dozen more before this nomination is clinched. Heather?
All right, thank you very much. Carl Cameron reporting live for us. Thank you, Carl.